Hey, fishy people. I'm realizing my videos are just kind of all over the place. I was gonna do more of a focus on shrimp real quick, and just wanted to go over general care requirements and things like that. This is my shrimp rack. You know, like I said before, I still need to get those filled. Still need to fill this one. It's taken a while. Shrimp are a lot of fun. The things I like about them is that they're tiny. You can have a lot of them in a small tank, and it's no big deal, which is fun because small tanks are nice. Not everyone can have a big tank, and they provide a lot of different color. There's a ton of different types, and you can really have a lot of them in a small tank. These are all 5.5 gallon tanks. All I've got running in the back is a sponge filter. And I do recommend sponge filters. The shrimp can't get sucked up, and it provides an ideal feeding ground for them. You know, the sponges back here gather a lot of debris, and they feed on that debris. You can have it super simple. Now, requirement-wise, people will argue all different types of stuff. There's what's going to keep them alive and what they're going to breed best under, and honestly, the vast majority of these shrimp I've kept under in the largest range of parameters, and I've had most of them breed under a large range of parameters. My cherries at one point dropped in the winter down to 52 degrees, and in the summer they hit very close to 90, if not 90. And their breeding wasn't great. You know, in the winter they weren't really eating. They essentially started hibernating. But they didn't die, and I actually sustained it. I had a very large colony, my main cherry colony, go up and downs, and it was no big problem. Most of these guys, I'm using an inert substrate. That means it's not buffering the pH, it's not raising it, it's not lowering it. It's just there. And I don't have a problem with that. I'm using tap water for most of these guys. And again, I don't have a problem. I'm not raising the GH or the KH. A lot of people will say, you know, you need very, very specific parameters for these guys, and I honestly haven't found that true. Now again, I'm not getting ideal breeding and all of that stuff, but most people that are keeping, or at least most people I interact with that are keeping shrimp and fish, are not trying to breed these guys. They just want something colorful in their tank. So, my camera blipped a little bit right there. So, what I was saying is, you know, just to keep these guys alive, it's not that hard. I'd say you can go all the way for most of these from 6 pH all the way up to very close to 8. You know, temperature-wise, I've gone down into the 40s all the way up into the 90s. Not ideal. You don't want swings, and I'd say that's probably more important, is that you don't want a swing in temperature. A big drop is worse off than just keeping it too high or too low. Too high you can get bacterial and fungal issues. Too low, they just don't reproduce very much. Ideally, you'd keep most of these guys between 68 and 70, 72 to 74. Depending upon who you're asking. Of the shrimp I keep, the big main groups are Caridina and Neocaridina. And these would be the Caridinas. If I'm butchering that name, oh well. Probably am. The whites, the blacks. The Neos are going to be, these are orange Neos. Neos have a big range. These are, I don't know if you can see those guys. They're tiny. These are my carbon rillies. That's a Neo. He's over here on the piece of moss, if you're wondering where I'm zooming in. I can't find my finger. Piece of moss right there. Your cherries, those are Neos. Your, the yellow guys here are Neos. The orange-eyed blue tigers are not. Neos. Down here I've got orange Rilleys, which I'm not going to be able to find in that tank, but those are Neos. In general, the Neos are easier to keep. They like a harder water, they like a higher pH, and they tend to be just easier to keep and easier to breed. The Cardinia, or however you say it, these guys supposedly like slightly cleaner water. I don't think they like slightly cleaner water. I think they're just more into pH. They like a lower pH. They like softer water. So if you want to breed them, you got to get them more spot on. The Neos will breed under most any circumstance, from what I've gathered. They breed faster under certain parameters, and they breed slower under other parameters, but they'll breed under pretty much any of them. These guys are a little bit more picky, and those are your bees, your crystal reds, your crystal blacks, your pandas, Tybes, Mishlings, all those guys. Taiwan bees. Tigers, like orange-eyed blue tigers, orange tangerine tigers, like these guys down here. I wouldn't say as easy as the Neos, but pretty darn easy. These guys, from what I understand, reproduce like crazy. I just got them, so a little bit new to me. Shrimp are cool. I think more people need to get into shrimp. You can have a little 5-gallon tank with a ton of shrimp. I could have many more shrimp than I have in these tanks, and it wouldn't be an issue. And in some of these, I got close to 200. This tank right here, they're all babies. But if you can see in there, they're all over. There's, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in just this one bunch right here. So you're looking at a lot of shrimp. Just the ones you can see, all these red spots are shrimp, and there's a lot that you can't see. So I think everyone should get into these guys. You can put them in with fish. You gotta cater your fish to what shrimp you want. You gotta cater to your ground cover for hiding places, or your mosses, or whatever it is. It's nice big, really in the back there. You gotta cater it to these guys. There's a lot of cories that have no problem with them. There's a lot of fish, a lot of micro rasboras, scarlet batis. There's a lot of really cool tiny fish that everyone ignores because they want a big tank, because they think a big tank you can have more, but you can almost have just as much in a tiny tank as long as it's a bunch of tiny stuff. And that's what I think is so cool about shrimp. So just wanted to go over that. I dig shrimp. I think people should get into them. I'm going to hopefully be doing more videos with more of a specific topic, and hopefully doing some reviews. I work in a store. I deal with a lot of different stuff. And some stuff's great, some stuff's bad. I should probably start reviewing it because I always found that helpful. And I'm sure you guys would too. So that's what's up. There's the shrimp rack. Real quick, let me try and name off what I have. I've got standard cherries, crystal reds, crystal blacks, gold bees, blue diamonds in this one. I've got crystal red, pure red line in here with some orange Neos. Over here, this one right here, I've got my blue diamond coals, which range from red to brown to blonde. Carbon Rilleys in this one. High grade cherries, those are painted fire reds down here. Sakura cherries in here. Neon yellow Neos and blue eye orange tigers in here. Standard fire yellow neons. The difference, there's a lot of different names. Some of them, these guys are interchangeable name-wise, but the big difference is these have a bright stripe on the back. These guys don't. Blue pearls, tangerine tigers, orange Rilleys. That's empty. I think that was most of them. Might have missed out on a couple, but oh well. So, hope your tank's doing well. Have a good night, you guys. Bye.